What is up, everybody? I hope everyone's having a great night. Let's get into some analysis here. Let me fix the background because I know you guys hate when the background is white on the bottom, so let me fix that up real quick so you guys can read the chat much easier. But yeah, there's this cool new feature where I can wave hi to the people who are joining. That's awesome. All right. Do I think the move on NQ is sustainable? Yes, I do think so. It was very apparent that we were going to move on up. Now that we closed up in this area, I mean, that is a very interesting thing that happened. That price closed up here. Overall, looking pretty bullish here. Looking pretty bullish. Andre, thank you so much for the follow. Joshua, thank you so much for the follow. All right, so I think right now what I will do is just go through a quick overview on the trade that I took today. I only took one trade. So coming into the market this morning, I was bullish. And the reason why I was bullish was, if you look, price was hovering around this 4-hour fair value gap right here. Okay, price came in, tapped into it. Actually, let me refresh this with the latest drawings that I had from my trading day. Give it a second, guys. All right, let me put this back to gradients. All right. So as you can see here on the 4-hour chart, price moved into this 4-hour fair value gap. Yes, we have been on a downtrend, right? If you look overall, price has just been trending down. Okay. Now we tapped into this 4-hour fair value gap, taking out the low right here, and we immediately started to jump back up. Now, if we were going to have some kind of move back on down, I would have wanted to see this 4-hour fair value gap, and then even the 1-hour fair value gap that I have marked, hold price down. But what ended up happening on Tuesday in the morning? Tuesday morning, we had a move on up and a closure outside of this fair value gap. Now, for those of you who have been following me for some time, you guys know that the way I trade, if that ends up happening, I consider that an inversion fair value gap, otherwise known as resistance, turned into support in here. This fair value gap was meant to hold us as resistance, but when we get that closure outside of it, now I expect it to hold us as support. Now, so dropping into the 1-hour time frame, here is that closure above and that reclosure above. It reclaimed that inversion fair value gap. Then price comes down, taps into it. This was last night. And we were on live here last night. There were a couple of people telling me that we were going to end up dropping way down here, like way down here in this level last night. And I didn't think we would. Not then. I thought we'd at least come up and hit this draw on liquidity first. Now, that was my game plan, because if you look, price creating higher lows, all right, and also creating higher highs overall. And then last night, price tapped into here, into this 1-hour fair value gap that was created as well. See that right there, that 1-hour fair value gap? Let's actually mark that out for you guys. Okay, let's make that a nice different color so it stands out. Price came into it. Yes, there are wicks outside of it, but the way I trade, I don't look at the wicks. I don't see the wicks as an invalidation of this fair value gap. I look at the body closures. I'm sure you guys have probably heard that the wicks will do the damage. The bodies is what tells the story. So in this instance, price came into this fair value gap, danced around it for a little bit, wicked outside of it, but never closed outside of it. So it was being held very nicely here. And then price started to move on up. What do we get this morning? We got CPI dropping, right? As soon as CPI drops, boom. Comes back down into this 1 hour fair value gap. And what did the wick do? Came back up. Now, here is the super tricky thing. Price after the open dropped hard, right? Invalidated this 1 hour fair value gap and invalidated this other 1 hour inversion fair value gap. Okay, was good, E. RSI looks like they set up for big moves once it reaches a higher low. What's your thoughts on that? What do you mean, user? Because I personally don't use the RSI. I don't use the relative strength index. So this morning, right? The trade that I actually took, I took one trade in the pre-market. Let me drop down to the 1 minute time frame and I'll show you the trade that I took. Yeah, bro, I'm feeling better today. Feeling much better tonight. A lot more energy for sure. Appreciate you for asking, man. Slev, thank you so much for the follow. John, thank you so much for the follow. So we see the CPI dropped and came down into this 1 hour fair value gap. Andy, thank you so much for the follow. Now, I usually don't take trades in the pre-market. James, thank you so much for the follow. I don't usually take trades in the pre-market. But what I noticed here was price dropped into that 1 hour fair value gap. And I'm bullish today, right? I wanted it to hit up into that draw on liquidity. So when price came down here, it started to create market structure. We see this low. We see it create a high, creates a higher low, creates a higher high, and it starts to come on down, and it does not displace below this low that was created. That is super key to note, okay? I like to look for what's called failure swing lows and failure swing highs. That's kind of like the first clue to price wanting to create a different kind of structure. All right, so when price came down, it swept out that low. And at the same time, look at what we created. A nice little 1 minute bearish fair value gap. All right, we failed to create a lower low. We just swept that low. And if we did intend moving on down, I would have wanted to see this fair value gap right here hold price down. But what do we end up seeing? Price moves on up. Boom, invalidates it. Matthew, thank you so much for the follow. It invalidates it. So to me, price went from being bearish to forming bullish structure and then validating that bullish structure. DJ Neko, thank you so much for the follow. So when that candle body, okay, that candle body closed above this bearish fair value gap, that was my first trade of the day. And my stop was below this low. My target was that draw on liquidity up here. Momo, thank you so much for the follow. Matt, thank you so much for the follow. Start taking some honey and pink Himalayan salt for natural energy. Yeah, I do take a spoonful of honey every day. Specifically Manuka honey. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's delicious though. I like it. But appreciate it. What are some good stocks you're currently watching? So I don't trade stocks often, but there's one that I am swinging call options on, and that's Tesla. Or Tesla, because people were making fun of the way that I pronounce it. Apparently I say Tesla. I never noticed that I did that. So that's one that I'm in. Rhino, you sent hella likes. I appreciate you, my guy. Love it. What pair is this? DJ Neko, this is NQ. I'm looking at NQ here. Yeah, AP, thank you so much for answering that question. All right, so now we see here, price starts to move on up. Lewis, thank you so much for the follow. And what's the first place that you could have taken? There's two, the blue or orange Manuka honey. I take, I think it's the blue one. I think it's the blue one. Drake, yes. This is the candle down at 8:30 news. This was CPI. NQ is the same as NASDAQ. Yes, it is NASDAQ futures. So, like I said, we had this bearish sentiment from news. but then price started to create bullish structure here. That candle closed above, market ordered in. My stop is below the latest swing low that was created. And the first thing that you could have targeted was the news high, right? It's a nice 1 to 1.56. Or you could have targeted the previous day high, which is a higher risk to reward. It was a 1 to 1.7. So let's say you entered in, there's 170 ticks here, which means that's about, trying to think here, $70 per contract. Say you wanted to take 3 contracts, right? You entered 3 contracts here, risking about a little over $200 on the trade. And your first take profit is up here. You take off 2 contracts. You would have made $293 on 2 contracts right here, targeting the previous day high. If you had targeted the data high, you would have made $266 off of 2 contracts. Your next target could have been this 18,922, right? Now, where did I take profit? I took profit here. And how did I know to take it here? Even though it didn't hit the draw on liquidity, the reason why I took it here is because of quarterly theory. For the AM session, the 90-minute cycle here starts at 9 and ends at 10:30. Now I'm bullish on the day. What am I going to expect quarter 2 to do, which manipulates in the opposite direction that Q3 is going to go? If I want Q3 to go up, I should have expected price to move down in Q2. That's why I took my profit here. I ended up taking like a nice 1 to 2.8, somewhere around, or a little less than that, somewhere around there is where I executed. And that was because of time. And I usually don't take pre-market trades, but essentially, right, dropping into that higher time frame fair value gap, price starts to create bullish structure. And then once it creates that bearish fair value gap that becomes a bullish inversion fair value gap, boom, take that. Yeah, I know ICT doesn't teach quarterly theory. I use a combination of quarterly theory with ICT concepts, but I know he himself does not teach it. Yeah, man. AJ, thank you so much for the follow. Clever, thank you so much for the follow. Let me go back up. I saw a lot of people dropping some questions. NQ is the same as NASDAQ, yes. Jeremiah, thank you so much for the follow. Chris, thank you so much for the follow. Is it a good pair to trade? Yeah, DJ Neko, NASDAQ, I love it. It's the only thing I trade. Ugh, I took the same trade on Euro USD and it didn't go that way. Very, very disappointed. Spliff, thank you so much for the follow. Yeah, I know. I've traded Euro USD before when I was trading Forex a while ago. I hated it. My love is NASDAQ. I stick to NASDAQ. AJ, teach me please. I'd love to. I'd love to. How long did I hold that trade for? I entered in at 8:48 or 8:47, sorry, and I closed it at 9:22, so about 40 minutes. So that was the first trade I took. This is on the 1 minute time frame. So remember, on the higher time frame, I was already coming in with a bullish bias. Rumario, thank you so much for the follow. And I wanted to see price create that bullish sentiment on the lower time frame. SRT Eric, no, I don't live stream New York Open. How do you chart quarterly in the charts? I notice I get better trades around 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. and as well as end of day around 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. So what I use to chart those quarterly cycles is an indicator. And E, you said, when am I dropping that video? Soon, bro. Soon. So I use this, Quarterly Cycles Days Theory by Waffles_Bitcoin. And that'll give me these cycles. Take it off, everything else is me. What's the best time frame I can use to analyze? I use the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the 15 minute, and the 1 minute. That's all I use. Mesha, thank you so much for the follow. Drake, NQ is futures. I prefer futures for various reasons. On options, what I don't like is that you have to use a cash account to be able to day trade. And that's only with the settled funds after your trade, you close it and then you can't use those funds until the next day. If you have a margin account, you only have 3 day trades every 5 rolling day period if you're under 25,000. Okay, so those are the 2 kind of hindrances of options. Then on top of that, you've got the Greeks, where if your position, if the underlying stock that you're trading is in consolidation, that's going to eat away at your position because you're losing time, and time is a factor in the options contracts. Now come to futures. Number 1, there's instant settlement. You can day trade to your heart's content with a $200 account. All right, you can keep trading all day long as long as you keep winning and you don't fall below a specific balance, but that's a whole nother topic. But there is instant settlement. There's no pattern day trading rule. Okay, the next thing I like about futures, Sean, thank you so much for the follow. The next thing I like about futures is the fact that there are greater tax benefits to the profits for futures. For options, if you're trading a personal account, you get charged, or you're taxed as short-term capital gains, which essentially is what your tax bracket is going to be for your regular income. On futures, out of your total profit, 60% of it will be taxed as long-term capital gains, which is a much smaller tax rate. And then the remaining will be taxed as short-term capital gains, which falls under your regular income. So you save on taxes too with futures if you're trading a personal account. Now, I know a lot of people do prop firm trading. I myself do prop firm trading. So that you don't get taxed in that way, because when you trade for a prop firm, you're essentially a contractor for them and they're paying you. So you get a 1099, just a regular 1099 form. But I would double check with your accountant on all of that I just gave. That is my understanding of it. I may not say, I could say that, but I could be wrong, right? But that's just the way I've understood it. I have an accountant that handles it all for me. So like I said, talk to your accountant. Would you say future moves different than Forex? Mahmood, thank you so much for the follow. I would say that futures, the indices move different than Forex, because futures for NASDAQ and then NAS 100, they're identical in movement. It's really when you're comparing the indices versus currencies. Indices are way more volatile for sure. No, Tommy. When you trade your own personal account for futures, the tax is less. If you trade for a prop firm, it's just going to be taxed as regular income. So it's still the same as a short-term capital gain. You only get that tax benefit if you're trading your own personal account. All right. So after this trade this morning, I came in with that bullish bias. I wanted to see price manipulate down in this second quarter for then Q3 to distribute on up. Now, I waited and waited and waited and could not find an entry. I could not find an entry to be bullish. I did not find any bearish fair value gap get invalidated, right? Look at here. We have a bearish fair value gap right here. Does price invalidate it? For a second. And I wanted to see what the next candle was going to do. When I get a small candle closure above the fair value gap like that, and then the next one doesn't continue, I don't enter that trade. When I saw that it came right back down, I was like, nah, I'm not taking that. There was no strong displacement through that bearish fair value gap. And honestly, I wanted to see more this one or even this one, okay? More up in premium. I wanted to see this one really get invalidated. But as we see, price came back up, tapped up into it, boom, rejected off of it. Then price continued to move on down, continue to move on down and down and down and down. Now, what I wanted to see from this drop was, well, Root, I know it's easy to talk about the past, but if you look at my trade recap, you can see the executions off of the trade that I took today. So I'm not talking in hindsight. I'm just reviewing what I did today. This position right here, I took that trade on my funded account. The other trade that I took was a long right here. And I also have screenshots and the executions on the trade recap. So you can go ahead and check that out. It's on my YouTube and it's also here on my TikTok. And the screenshots are on my Instagram story. So you can check that out too. And it's also on my Twitter. I know, I get it. Don't worry, Rue. I know that there's a lot of people who are hindsight traders. A lot of people who are paper traders. But nah, I got nothing to hide. Got nothing to hide. Rishi, thank you so much for the follow. So yeah, as price was dropping down so aggressively here, I had a feeling, right? Price came up. Apple user, thank you so much for the follow. And Justin, thank you so much for the follow. When price took out that previous day high and it started to reject so aggressively, I wanted to see what price was going to do at this previous day low. Now, why? I wanted to see if this was going to end up being a liquidity sweep, because overall, I was still bullish on the day. I was still bullish on the day. And at around 11 o'clock, that 4-hour candle did not look like it was going to end up, like it started to look like it wanted to close. And if it was, then I would have taken that trade in the PM. I would have taken a short in the PM. So I kept watching every 15 minutes or so. So let's see. Because I'm still bullish on the day, I want to see what fair value gaps are being created on the 15-minute time frame. We've got 1 right there. We've got 2 right there. We've got 3. As soon as price tapped into that previous day low, which is this line marked out right here. Okay, you may not see it because it's in the chat, but right here. Price then hovers and aggressively pushes back up, invalidating this fair value gap. Okay. Next one stays here. It's kind of like an indecision candle. Next candle over, boom, invalidates 1, 2, and 3 of those bearish fair value gaps were invalidated right off of the previous day low. And then that 4-hour candle is now coming back up into that open, that 10 o'clock open right here, where we created a massive bottom wick on that 4-hour candle. And we're back at the open, invalidating bearish fair value gaps that should technically hold price down. All of this run back up screamed bullishness to me. And I knew that it wanted this draw on liquidity. Shoot, it even wanted these two. I had marked these out too, these levels right here. Okay. Once this candle closed above this bearish fair value gap right here and closed above it aggressive, like this is a strong displacement candle. Brandoni, thank you so much for the follow. This candle closed at 11:45. So at 11:45, you go, okay, price really doesn't want to move down. Perry, thank you so much for the follow. Price really doesn't want to move on down, right? I got to start looking for a bullish entry somehow. And that's exactly what I did. 11:45 is right here. Where is it? This candle right here. Okay. The start of this candle was that flip to bullishness again, off of that massive drop. Then we start to see a retracement here. And unfortunately, I was at the beach having fun this morning. And then I pulled out my phone and I didn't pull it out until this candle right here. My entry should have been this one. Okay. This should have been my entry right there. Why? Same reasoning for the trade this morning. If we're now bullish and we see something that's supposed to act like resistance, in this sense, this bearish fair value gap, if that gets invalidated, resistance becomes support. If price were to come back down here, I would have expected it to hold. Now, some traders, yes, they like to hold. They like to put their entry right here at the retest of this fair value gap. I don't do that. I like to market in right away because I want to get engaged with this market right away, because I can tell it has all of the confluences for what I look for. But unfortunately, I was a little late to it, so I got my entry up here at the close of this candle. But still, it was a good risk to reward, right? 2.7. That's a solid risk to reward. So my first take profit, and I think somebody asked about that. How do you know when to sell? I always end up selling early and miss out on crazy profit. Justin, this is what I did. I took 3 contracts long right here. I put my stop below this low, and my first take profit was the new high of day that I wanted to create, a new high of day. Once price tapped into that level, I sold 2 contracts there, and then I leave 1 runner, sometimes 1 or 2 runners. Okay, it all depends how far away. Like for example, I was busy after I took that trade. I was driving, so I took it here because I wanted to make sure that I got out in full profit. I could have put my total profit here at this 19,150 if I wanted to. And I could have taken one contract here, another contract that's drawing liquidity, and hold my last one to here. Okay? And that's what you got to do. Once price moves on up to this level, put your stops to break even. Take the majority of your position off, Justin. Take the majority of your position off. Jaylim, thank you so much for the follow. And then hold that one runner. Just hold one contract to that massive target that you think, oh man, it's not going to hit. Maybe it could hit there. Just hold one contract. If you take off like 75 to 80% of your position, you're still going to come out green, even if it comes and stops you back out and it break even. You still made money. Who cares? If one contract got stopped out, you're walking away green. And that's what I started implementing like about, I don't know, 8-9 months ago. And it's a lot easier to hold that one contract. And then you'll start to realize and start to get more confident in the sense that, hey, my analysis is right. Every time I keep holding one contract, it ends up hitting that target that I have. Maybe next time I'll hold 2 contracts. And then maybe next time I'll hold 3 contracts. Maybe I can start sizing up in my positions because I'm becoming more accurate in reading price action. Okay? Christian, you got it. 4 contracts, 2 profit, 2 runners, or 1 and 1 crazy runner. Exactly. Split your position up. Bear, thank you so much for the follow. Split your position up and start to grow thicker skin and seeing that. And then another thing that helps, look at a higher time frame. Monitor those runners on a higher time frame. Don't look at the 1 minute. Once you've hit this high of day, look at the 5 minute. You want bullish fair value gaps to hold you up. Azel, thank you so much for the follow. Start marking them out. Here's one. Did that get invalidated? Nope. Where else? Let's keep looking. JV, thank you so much for the follow. Here's another one. Did that get invalidated? Nope. Did this one get invalidated? Nope. Did this one get invalidated? Nope. Just a wick through. Kept going up. Where is there another bullish fair value gap on the 5 minute? Right there. Price supported. Keeps moving on up. Boom, 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 boom. And then next thing you know, end of the day, you take off that last contract. You hit the high of day pretty much. If you monitor your position on the 5 minute chart, if you are bullish, you should see on the 5 minute, on the 15 minute, those fair value gaps holding you up. Holding you up, okay? And that'll start to give you that confidence, like, okay, I can still hold this one contract. I can still, and by doing that, I've hit trades of like 1,000. I think my record was a 2,000 tick trade. And E, who was in the chat, he's witness to that. He's witness to that on one contract. It's crazy. It's crazy to hit those kind of trades. And they don't come every day. Okay, you can't go into trading thinking you're going to hit those ballpark trades every time. But as long as you continue to grow thicker skin to that market, to go against what your emotional want to do is to just take the position off early, start growing accustomed to ignoring that voice and just trading what you see in front of you on the chart. And you'll start to see that your gains will start to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Let me scroll back up in this chat. I missed a lot of commentary here. Tony, thank you so much for the follow, bro. What do I think will happen at open tomorrow? Valuable gems. It's a great question. We're gonna get into that too. The difference on trading NQ Forex and NQ Futures. Futures is regulated, Forex is not. So sometimes they could actually stop you out even though price never even hit that stop level. I've noticed that happens sometimes. You think this bull run is a strong one, or you think it's just grabbing liquidity? Christian, for now, I think it might be just a retracement, but we'll see. I mean, this end of day action on the 4-hour time frame, it's got me thinking otherwise, man. Displacing above this high right here, look, that's a strong push on up. That's a really strong push on up. I want to see what price does here. If we end up getting a 4-hour close above this level too, yeah, I think we're hitting to these relative equal highs. This one was tripping me up for the longest time. All of these relative equal highs up here. Yeah, the invalidation is when it pushes back past the fair value gap. That's right. Edwin, thank you so much for the follow. This morning you sold 4 put verticals almost at the low on SPX, took risk off after they were in the P. Made the mistake of putting on an iron condor thinking it was going to level out. Yeah, JV. Tough. But I hope you came out in profit though. Yeah, all right, awesome. Awesome. Crispy, your question, how do you identify the draw on liquidity? That's a great question. So essentially, if I see that the market structure is bullish and it's respecting bullish PD arrays, okay, like here, for example, it's respecting this 1-hour fair value gap, I look for prominent swing highs and lows. Look at the 3 targets that I had marked out. I marked out this swing high here. It's a very prominent one. Taz, thank you so much for the follow. It's a very prominent one. I keep putting it so low to you guys, I'm sorry. Right here, this high right here, and then that high right there. I use old highs and old lows as the draw on liquidity. As you can see, price taps on up, boom, 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 crushes through those. Sometimes price will come, like for example, the draw on liquidity for the downside was the previous day low. Price comes, stops there, and sometimes reverse it. Izelle, what makes it a swing high is the fact that it's a 3-candle pattern where the high of the first candle and the high of the third candle do not go higher than the middle candle. Okay? Same here. First candle, second candle, third candle. Look at the highs of those. It swings to swing high. Same thing here. 1, 2, 3. This is the middle candle is the highest high. That's a swing high. This one also was a swing high here, but that already got taken out before. Here's another swing high. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Another one. 1, 2, 3. Boom. So those are swing highs. And the same goes for the lows. 1, 2, 3. The middle candle has the lowest low. Right there. Here's another swing low. 1, 2, 3. Low. 1, 2, 3. Low. And then look at what price does. Boom, drops down there. After identifying a swing low or high, what would be the lookout for now? Oh, you used to think it was only the body is out. Nah, yeah, no, wicks included. I use wicks included. After identifying a swing low or high, what would be the lookout for now? So after knowing what the draw on liquidity is, so you know what structure is doing, you see what's the order flow? Is it uptrending or downtrending? You got your draw on liquidity. Then you wait on the lower time frame to see that price is also heading in that direction. If you're bullish on a higher time frame, but the 15-minute is bearish, wait for the 15-minute to become bullish, okay? Or look for a point of interest where it could become bullish at that point. Once it drops into that area of interest, go down to the 1-minute time frame and wait for that to align to be bullish, and you got your entry. Ivan, thank you so much for the follow. That's like a quick run through of how I do it. Because I'd see the bodies match and couldn't tell if it was swing high or not. SJ, thank you so much for the follow. Ramo, you must have gotten scammed, bro. Because I don't give signals. Ghost Miracle, thank you so much for the follow. Yo, Ramo, I feel like one of these days someone's gonna come in here thinking that you're being completely honest with what you're saying. Guys, don't listen to Ramo. This is my boy, but he's playing. How do I feel about the MACD for momentum? I don't use it. I don't use it at all. I remember someone asking me another question up here. Do you mainly base moves by FEG and order blocks or just FEG with liquidity? I don't use order blocks in my trading. It's just FEGs, market structure, draw on liquidity, and quarterly theory for time. And that's it. So you enter on swing highs and lows. I wait for price to enter those swing highs and lows on higher time frame. Azal, thank you so much for that heart me, bro. I appreciate that. I enter in when price dips into a high or low. That is an area of interest for me. or if it enters into a higher time frame fair value gap as an area of interest for me. And then on the lower time frame, I wait for it to become also. Oh, thank you so much for the 20 team bracelets, bro. Wow. Thank you, man. Thank you. I wait for it on the lower time frame to then align to that. You messaged me and told me to buy your copy trader through Pepe Coins though. Yo, Ramos, chill, bro. Someone's gonna actually think that I legit do that. I don't. Don't fall for anybody that DMs you, guy. Yo, so simple strategy, I like it. Keep it simple. Yeah, bro. I try to keep it as simple as possible. I don't add too much to it. If I see that it aligns, I go for it. And risk management, look, I'm not perfect. My hit rate is not that high. It's about like 60 to 70%. But because I'm trying to catch like 1 to 2 risk to rewards, you know, that'll offset that low win rate. Steven, your put's paid. Nice. I was thinking about you this morning at that drop, bro. Oh, Shy, well, come on. You got cooked today? I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, no, I know your profile picture. You got cooked. What happened? What did you trade? Did you go long during this drop and then you went short on the move back up? I've had days like that before. Ramo, I swear, bro, I'm not using SMT, man. Do I use any linear regression signal in conjunction to find confluence? No, I don't. I only use price action and just looking at market structure aligning across all the time frames. Now you caught it, Izel. Higher time frame and then lower for entry. Izel, follow me on TikTok and then go to the link tree in my bio. Go to my YouTube channel. I break down everything on there. So my TikTok is very quick, 1-minute videos. Joe, thank you so much for the follow. And then my YouTube channel has the in-depth breakdown. Now those end up being about 5 to 10 minutes long, depending on the day. There, I give you everything on how I go from top to bottom, okay? You can check that out. That's all there. And buy my videos on YouTube with Pepe Coins. Ah, Mrs. Green, you were greedy too. You were up 700 and gave it back and more. No, never do that. Oh, man. Lesson learned, though. Lesson learned. Don't do it tomorrow. Don't do that tomorrow. Yeah, Christian, you got it right. Higher time frame to see what the day will kind of look like, and then smaller for entry. Kayla, SMT is bae. I know for a lot of people it is. A lot of ICT traders don't agree with me that I don't use it at all. But it's good. I'm not going to say that you don't need it, because some traders need it. Some people like it. It gives them greater confidence in the trade. I personally don't like to look at it. It's because, you know what? Looking at both ES and NASDAQ throws me off. I like just focusing on just NASDAQ. Oh Lord, quarterly theory? Oh Lord, why not? I don't trade solely based off of it though. I use it for pockets of time of when will be a high probability to enter. Good looking for the YouTube. All right, appreciate you tuning in. Steven, Tony, thank you so much for the follow. Steven, the what's it called? The indicator, United States of America. What? I got the US following me? Appreciate the follow. So if you go to the indicators, it's this one, Quarterly Cycles Days Theory by Waffles Bitcoin. And that answers you too, I know, 24/7. Ramo, I swear, bro, DM me what timestamp am I talking about SMT, bro? Ovando, thank you so much for that follow. Movie, thank you so much for that follow. You gotta show me, bro. Where am I talking about SMT? Good night, thank you. I got a lot out of this live. I'm getting some good sleep ready for tomorrow. That's awesome, Drake. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Guys, these lives are meant for you. Please ask any and all questions on these lives. I want to help out anybody that I can on these lives. My YouTube is also meant for that too. I put all of my trade recaps out there, giving you guys insight into how I view the markets daily. United States of America, SPY going down tomorrow. I don't know. Felix, thank you so much for the follow. It depends. Really depends. I mean, look, right now, this is looking uber bullish. If we do get a start moving back on down, I want to see, like for now, I would say it's just a retracement. I would not consider it a retracement if we end up getting a 4-hour close below 18,929.25. All right. Once we get a 4-hour close below, yeah, then the next draw on liquidity is going to be this low. And at that point, this low and that low. Azelle, you were liquidity last week for the market. I went long, it went short. I got short, it went yeah, man. If you look at my recap for the Top Step eval that I was doing, bro, I had the worst losing streak on it for some reason. And just on that eval, my Apex funded accounts, I did completely fine on them. I was green every day. I was just taking the worst trades on that Top Step eval. I have no idea what happened. So I reset it and I took a nice trade today. That one trade that you guys saw. Thoughts on BOF? What is BOF? Oh, come on, bro. This is a penny stock. Those are so volatile based off of news. Like, this is dropping hard. Came up. Yeah, nah, this is dropping. I think it's going to fall. We have the exact same setup as in August. Same run up, same price before bigged up on SPY. What's your thoughts? See, I know people like to look at that to say like, oh, it's the exact same setup as before. But you got to go off of what you see now. All right, because there could be that one difference between last time and now that could make the market act different. So don't go off of just what happened last time. You need to just look at exactly how price is moving now. Open another link and watch the TikTok. No, man. Justin, thank you so much for the follow. TKZ sent me dolphins. Thank you so much for that, bro. I appreciate it. I can't make dolphin noises with my voice, but if I could, I would. Yo, Raymond, I'm not gonna watch it, bro. I'm not. First of all, I don't like the sound of my voice. So there's that. Second of all, you gotta tell me where. Just DM me and I'll believe you. So you guys are asking, how do I use the quarters? Sure, I can get into that. Shah, thank you so much for the follow. I'm gonna fight you in the DMs, I guess. Yo, bring it on, bro. I'm telling you, I don't say SMT in my videos. All right, the quarters. All right, I always get a lot of people asking me about that. Miguel, am I Mexican? No, but I'm neighbors with Mexico. I'm Guatemalan. Trying to catch up with everybody's messages, see if there's anything else I missed. I will get into the quarters, 1 second. You're just learning fair value gaps, and aren't they connected to daily highs and daily lows? No, not necessarily. Ovando, I don't trade on the VIX, no. Hey, saludos, SJ. Christian Lorenzano, you're Filipino? Bro, I swore you were Hispanic with that last name and that first name, but I guess Filipinos do also have very Spanish last names. Swing highs and lows, fair value gaps, and daily weekly highs and lows. That's a good start, Azelle. That's a great start. Like I said, check out those YouTube videos. I promise you, I put out a lot of info there for you too. Your voice is trustworthy. You should like it. Appreciate that, Miguel. I appreciate that. What website is this, Ephra? This is TradingView. All right. Quarterly cycles. What are they? How do I use them? Why do I use them? Okay. The quarterly cycles is essentially taking la seca. Buenas noches. Acá bien. ¿Y tú? Hoy tomé 2 trades que me salieron bien. So, muy agradecido a Dios por eso. So the quarterly cycles, they are essentially pockets of time in the day. If you take the day, right, it starts at 6 p.m. Eastern. Motivationally, thank you so much for the follow. And it ends at 5 p.m. Eastern the next day. That's a pocket of 23 hours. But let's say 24 hours, right? You divide that into 4 quarters. What do you end up getting? You get the Asian session right here at 6 p.m. to midnight, 6 hours long. Then from midnight to 6 a.m., that's the London session. From 6 a.m. to 12 p.m., that's the New York AM session. And from 12 p.m. to closing, that's the, or sorry, did I say that's the PM? That's the AM session. Then this is the PM session. Each quarter then can be broken down into subquarters. All right. Taking into example here, let me do it on NQ because it's probably cleaner. I have so many drawings on this. Perfect. Taking NQ here, this is the AM session that I talked about from 6 a.m. to midday. You got 1 quarter from 6 to 7:30, another quarter from 7:30 to 9, another one from 9 to 10:30, and then 10:30 to 12. And then you can take that quarter and then split it up even lower. Where is the AM session? Right here. Take those, and then let's take that 9 to 10:30, that 90-minute cycle. E, thank you so much for the follow. You got from 9 to 9:23, 9:23 to 9:45, 9:45 to 10:08, and then 10:08 to 10:30. Now that's how you can split it. It's all pockets of time where price will do one of 4 things, okay? Let's just say price will do something in each of these quarters. Each quarter will have its own characteristic. Yo, for real, I thought that was UE. I thought the other E was UE. Where's the boost? Thank you so much for the follow. Now, price will do one of 4 things in those quarters. It'll either accumulate, manipulate, distribute, and then there's the X quarter, which could be continuation or reversal. Now, this is what you would call an AMDX profile. It could also do exactly this, these 4 characteristics, but in this order. This would be an XAMD profile. So the first quarter can accumulate, where your price will chop around. The second quarter will do what is called manipulation, where it'll move in one direction up or down, and it will be targeting an old high or an old low, and it is also pushing into a higher time frame PD array. That could be a fair value gap, it could be an order block, it could be an IFEG of some sort. And then the third quarter will distribute in the opposite direction of the manipulation. Okay? This technically will go in the opposite direction of this. Then the fourth quarter will either continue the distribution in that direction or it'll reverse. TKZ, thank you so much for the rose. You got 5 of them. Thank you for the rose. Thank you for the rose. Thank you for... No, I'm not doing that. I appreciate the gift. So it'll do that. It'll continue in the same direction as this distribution, or it'll reverse. User, thank you so much for the follow. Today, for the AM session, we've got a pretty good example of that. Look at this first quarter. And Sora, you said it's pushing it. I know, I get that. Look at this first quarter here, from 6 to 7:30. It's chopping. Chopping. What did it do after that? We pushed up into the London high and moved on up. What did the third quarter do? It moved in the opposite direction of the manipulation up. It manipulated above London high first. Then we moved in the opposite direction. And then Q4 is what? It's the continuation or the reversal. Is it a coincidence here that price moved down, 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 stops at the beginning of Q4, and then starts to move back on up and reverses? If you look at the quarters, price will do that. Price will start doing these moves in those specific times. Price will move drastically in one way or another and then reverse in the next quarter. Right? Here we move up, here we move down, here we move back up. But it's always aligning to time. Now, am I trading it based solely off of this where, oh, we manipulated up, so I'm just going to go short? No, I don't do that. I look for high probability areas to enter. Okay? So that is why at market open, you usually will not see me take a trade until 9:45. Why 9:45? Because at 9:45 is the start of Q3, which is usually the distribution cycle that's sitting inside of the distribution cycle for the New York AM session. So there should be a lot of liquidity in this area. There should be a lot of volatility coming into the market at this time. If it doesn't happen here, like here, it just chopped around. Q4 starts, what do we get? Boom, massive drop. Happened here. And then drops. And then price starts moving down here. Look what happens at 10:53. Starts moving up in the other direction. At the beginning of these quarters too, you sometimes get a massive move like that. Here we accumulated a little bit. Look, price accumulates here. Then we start to get a move back on up. Accumulates. This quarter starts, boom, a big move. Accumulation. Boom, then price moves. Accumulation. You see, price will do these characteristics within each of those quarters. It'll do something. But I'm not solely basing my trades off of that. It needs, I put a heavier emphasis on market structure. A much heavier emphasis on market structure and the drawn liquidity. Nah, I get what you're saying, Sora. Look, I'll just tell you this. If you're profitable without it, don't use it. The last thing you want to do is add one other thing that's going to confuse you. Don't do that. And I don't use it to develop my bias. I use it in conjunction with what I already got based off of market structure. If it adds to it, I feel more confident in the trade. But if it doesn't, then I omit it, because sometimes the quarters don't play out exactly, right? Like, check this out. We could say this is accumulation. We manipulate up. Why didn't we distribute down? Here, this ended up being the continuation of this move up. Here too. Accumulation manipulates above these highs. Why didn't we distribute down? It's all relative. I'm not using it solely off of that. Keeping strategy simple. That's right, Christian. You got it. You got it. Can I explain what I mean by market structure? Of course, CP. Of course. I love answering that question. Market structure can be broken down to two types. Simply put, you've got a low to a high to a higher low to a higher high to a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. This is an uptrending structure because this is what it looks like. You got higher highs and higher lows. And then you've got the opposite. A high to a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. These are the two types of market structure that you can see. You like to make it complicated because trading is too easy now. You're right, Ramo. I'm about to call the market makers and tell them to show you the wrong price on your charts, bro. Have them dox you. So those are the two different types of structure. Now, I don't know if you've heard the term market structure shift, break of structure, those types of things. What that means, Taco, if you want to see my P&L, you can go ahead and check the link tree in my bio. I posted my August results on there. What that means, a break of structure, my name sounds familiar. Am I in a Discord as an analyst? Yes, you might be talking about Ifty's Discord, Genesis Trading. I usually just post my recaps and my screenshots of trades that I've taken, but I'm not doing callouts or anything in it. So a break of structure would be something like this, or a market structure shift. You've got the low to high, lower, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Okay. Right there. That is what I would consider a market structure shift. And as the name, as the name says, it's a shift in the market structure. Right now, this market structure is uptrending, and it creates that higher low. But what is this? A lower high. Then price moves down below this low and breaks that uptrending structure. So what's the next thing that you could think price will do? Will be creating a lower high and doing this. Okay. Myself, my entry, the model that I use, when we get something like this and then we start putting in this lower high, sometimes there will be a bullish fair value gap within here. When that gets inverted, I'm entering like this. And I'm targeting previous lows like this. That's essentially my entry model. I'm not entering all the way up here. It is very risky. Some people can find it there. Yes, there are entries there, but I don't do that. I like to have some good confirmation in my trade. It's usually somewhere here. If I miss here or here, I wait for the next retracement on up. Enter here. Next retracement on up. Enter here. Until it hits the draw on liquidity. Fire Mouse, thank you so much for the follow. Yeah, Taco. It does look like a market maker sell model, right? This is the buy side of the curve. That's the sell side of the curve. It is an IFVG. Yes, Panda. Come on, bro. You know me. Now look for a FEG or break structure to enter short. Yes, that's right. Super easy. It's got to stay easy. You're following me? Yeah, appreciate the follow. You know ICT? Nice. Nice. What's inverse? Senga, so... Well, let me ask you this, Senga. Do you know what a fair value gap is? Okay, CP doesn't know what a fair value gap is. Okay, so I'll explain that first. And write in, you can go ahead and check my TikTok. I just posted my recap there. It's about a minute long. The latest, not the latest video, the one before it that shows day 8 of my Top Step eval. CP, thank you so much for the follow. All right, so CP, fair value gap. I'm gonna start answering that question. You can go ahead and start screen recording too, so you can keep this. And also, if you guys find this information valuable, would you guys like me to upload it to YouTube? Hit me with those likes. Hit me with some W's in the chat if you guys want this video, this live uploaded to YouTube. I can see if I can do that for you guys. Taco, thank you so much for the follow. I see the likes going up. I like it. I like it. And we're almost at 2K. Yes. I'm glad, Mark. Yo, these likes coming in hot. We're at 4K likes. Thank you so much, guys. Juarez, thank you so much for the follow. All right, so fair value gaps. They're essentially a 3-candle pattern. Amir, thank you so much for the follow. Okay, they're a 3-candle pattern. Let me find one that's a good example. Here on the 15-minute chart, they tend to be cleaner. Okay, you have 2 types. You have a bullish fair value gap, and then you have a bearish fair value gap. For the bullish fair value gap, let me delete this. For a bullish fair value gap, you'll have 3 candles, okay? Candle number 1, candle number 2, and candle number 3. The high of candle number 1 and the low of candle number 3 should not touch or overlap in any way. The space between those is a fair value gap. Now, what does that mean? Price moved so aggressively up above it, it left unfilled orders on the way because of that massive move on up. And what do we look for as traders for those fair value gaps? For price to move into it and have it act as a support in terms of a bullish fair value gap. Act as support, and you can see price taps into it once, twice before continuing on up. And on the impulse back on up, it creates another one. And let's see if that one was supported somehow. Not yet. Not yet. Okay? That is a bullish fair value gap. Panda, that's Blake. Johnny, thank you so much for the follow. Kev, thank you so much for the follow. Bearish is the opposite, okay? Bearish fair value gap is the opposite of what I just explained as a bullish one. Again, 3 candle pattern. Candle 1, and don't even worry about the candle colors. Do not care about the candle colors. I don't look at the candle colors if they're all green or if they're all, no. Just 3 candles, okay? Candle 1, candle 2, candle 3. The low of candle 1 and the high of candle 3 should not overlap or touch in any way. The difference between those, that gap there, is the fair value gap. And in this instance, for a bearish fair value gap, we expect this to act as resistance for price. Now, just because you see a fair value gap on the chart doesn't mean that it will always act as resistance, as is the case here. Price drove right on through it. And now this is going to answer your question. Who was it that asked it? Of what is an inverse? Sanja, I don't know how you pronounce it, but when price moves aggressively back through a bearish fair value gap that's supposed to hold price down, right? Technically speaking, when price moves aggressively through it and you get a body close above the bearish one, this goes from being a bearish fair value gap to what's called an inversion fair value gap. In very simple terms, resistance will become support. And you can see that it does that, right? Closes above, price taps into it, starts to take off. In this instance here, price that was supposed to be resistance became support, moved on up. Okay? This is the 15-minute time frame. I'm using it as an example. Remember about liquidity grabs, because if not taken into consideration, FEGs won't work. That's right. You have to have that higher time frame context to understand. On the higher time frame, are we bullish? If we're bullish on the higher time frame, Real Marco, thank you so much for the follow. If I'm bullish on the higher time frame, CryptoVision, thank you so much for the follow, then I should see bearish fair value gaps get invalidated. And if they do get invalidated, then I have more confidence in going long, because price on the higher time frame and price on the lower time frame are in alignment. When you have that in alignment, you have stronger conviction on these trades, higher probability. King Julian, thank you so much for the follow. And if you look at my recap, that was my trade today. Okay, this 15-minute fair value gap got created as an inversion at 11:45. Okay, here on the 4-hour time frame at this time at 11:45, price was still looking bullish. I was waiting for the 15-minute to look bullish because here it looked bearish. Why? Look at the structure. A low, a high, higher low, higher high. This swept that low, created a higher high. Boom, market structure shift. This is bearish right now. I want to start to see that this bearish structure does not hold. I want to see that because on the higher time frame, I'm bullish. And if that higher time frame is to continue being bullish, the 15-minute must also turn bullish. When did that happen for me? Well, it started here. And like Taco said, liquidity is found at old highs and old lows. Here is the previous, is this the previous day low? Which one's Tuesday? This was the previous day low. Oops, I almost took a trade by accident. This is the previous day low right here. These two relative equal lows right there. What does price do? Drops down into it. Higher time frame looks bullish. Boom, we get an inversion fair value gap right here. Trying to move this out of the way without this. You get another bearish fair value gap gets inverted by this candle here. When this candle closed above it at 11:45, I knew that my bullish bias was correct. Then what did I do? I dropped down into the 1 minute time frame and I look for price to align to being bullish. So 11:45, let's mark that out. Right here, okay? At this time right here, I know that the 4 hour is bullish, the 15 minute is bullish. Now I gotta wait to see that the 1 minute continues to be bullish. If the 1 minute is going to continue being bullish, what should I see to bearish fair value gaps on the 1 minute? They need to start getting disrespected. Where do we see a 1 minute bearish fair value gap? Right there. Gets created on this push down. This candle invalidates it. Goes from a bearish fair value gap, becomes an inverse fair value gap. So now 4 hour, 15 minute, 1 minute are all bullish. I enter long. Put my stop below this low. And what is my target? My target is the high of day. That's a 1 to 3 risk to reward trade. That one trade, if you risk $100 on this trade, you make 313. You 3x your money. And what does price do after you enter in there? Once all of those time frames align, boom, target hit. You entered in at 11:58, target hit 12:30. Multiple time frame alignment. Noah, you said very refreshing content, clear and to the point. Thank you. That's what I'm aiming for. Patricia, thank you so much for the follow. Gata, how do I know what time frames to draw the FEG on? I draw them on all the time frames that are significant. So 4 hour, 1 hour, 15 minute, and the 1 minute are the 4 time frames that I'm looking through to understand. If you want to see which ones I'm marking out, go check out my YouTube. The link is in my bio. Okay. On my YouTube, I post the full breakdown of my trades. Okay. And if you're someone who needs a little more help, you feel like you're almost there, but you just need a little more help, check out those recaps. I also do offer one-on-ones. And now those one-on-ones are outside of trading hours. Those are extra time commitment on my end. So there's a cost associated to it. If you're curious about those are in my link tree as well. But if it's just a quick question, you can DM me. I'll answer back. Maybe I got a video that you could watch. Maybe it's a quick and simple answer. But I have all those resources out there for you guys, free and paid. Yes, this is TradingView Omega. How do you manage your risk to reward when growing a small account? It depends on what size is the account. Face money. I will go over it again in a little bit, but if you want to watch it right now, you can go ahead and check out my TikTok. The second most recent video. Yeah, the second most recent video is the breakdown. And then the full breakdown is on YouTube. You can check that out on YouTube. King Julian, you want me to trade live tomorrow? Look, King, I've done it before here on TikTok. And let me tell you why I don't do it. Everybody on TikTok is an expert. And when you take a losing trade, everybody is a hater. And everybody loves to put in their input, and I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. It trips me up. I'll be honest. It trips me up. I like to trade by myself. And plus, I don't want to go live and have people just rely on me for signals. I feel like I'm doing a disservice by doing that. I want you guys to learn how to trade on your own. You need to learn how to trade on your own. Don't trade because I'm live and you want to take my trades because I'm consistently profitable. That's not going to help you in the long run. That's why I go live at night for these recaps. That's why I post the trade recaps. to answer all questions. Yeah, CP, teach a man how to fish. Or woman, right? Christian, thank you so much for the follow. Christian, so the account size, well, Jinx, yeah, it's a 198 tick stop. So the account size, it's about 500 to 1500. If it's a $500 account, I'd risk about $100 per trade. Based off of the strategy that I use, that's typically around what the risk is on my trades, about $100. And I'd be targeting a 1 to 2, so that $100 trade will be $200 profit, so that $500 account will become $700. And then again, risking another $100, then that'll become $900. And then once you hit about 1,000, you can start to size up a little bit. If the trade allows 150, then once you get to like 1,500 to 2,000, I risk about $200. And then I stay around the $250 to $300 range until the account hits about $8,000. Then I start upping up the risk. And ideally what I want to get to is risking 0.5% of the trade, of the account per trade. And I usually give the account 2 attempts a day. If the first trade doesn't work out, I give it one more shot. If that second trade doesn't work out, I want to lose maximum 1% on the account. That's it. Ricky, thank you so much for the follow. How long did it take for me to become profitable? It took me 3 years, being completely honest, SJ. 3 years. Trying to catch up here to everyone's questions. Experts and haters, yeah. It's not always going to be a winning trade. Losing trades happen. Yeah, exactly, Patricia. Losing trades will happen. It's about how you handle those losing trades, both financially on your account, if you're oversizing or not, and then also emotionally. Are you letting that get to you and then making you have a losing streak consistently? Not because your analysis is wrong, but because you're taking bad trades, because you feel like you can't do this. All of that. Miguel, how do I know when to get out again? Well, one is it'll either hit my stop loss or I'm taking profit at old highs and lows. How did I know when I was ready to trade live? So for me, I actually never paper traded, which was so wrong of me to do. But I lost a lot of money doing that. But yes, I never paper traded, and so I would say once you're consistently like you wouldn't. So I can't say there's a one size fits all to everyone. It really depends on you and what you know and how you feel in your trading as you're learning. If you feel confident in the strategy, you know it. I say that there's 2 things that people need to break in terms of their trading journey to be able to start trading live. The first one is how did I put it again? There's the practical side of it. So you need to learn the strategy. You need to know it in and out, in the theory of it. All right, without taking any trades, you understand the strategy. You can see it on a chart happen without taking trades. You can see it happen. And you say, okay, I would enter the trade there. Boom, that's the target. Great, it works. That's your first hurdle that you need to take over. Just learning the strategy. The second hurdle that you need to take over is your psychological hurdle. Because once you start putting trades on, then your emotions start coming in. And that is the hardest one. Learning the strategy is easy. The mental is the hard part. But it's not impossible. Yo, what's good, Gabe? Appreciate it, Panda, taking me to 2K followers. Alberi, how does one start this? So shoot me a DM. I've got a playlist for beginners, but I'm also creating a mentorship, and I'm trying to make it an all-encompassing one for people who know nothing about trading, and then getting them to the point where they know everything that I know. So if that is also something that is of interest of you, hit me a follow here on TikTok. Follow me on Instagram. I'm going to start posting updates about that soon. But if you want in the meantime, shoot me a message. I'll send you a playlist to start out with. Panda, my Discord is free info and gems dropped every day. What trade is this? It's a NASDAQ. This is NASDAQ. SJ, how long do I trade per day? I trade usually about the first hour of open at my desk. Now, and I'll be completely honest with you guys, I'm not a full-time day trader. I'm a part-time day trader with a 9 to 5 job. Okay, I work a 9 to 5, and I only trade the first hour of market open. Just the first hour of market open, fully focused on the chart. After that, I start doing my job. I'm looking at my work, and then I'm just looking at the charts every 15 minutes or so. Let me go back up. Let's just reset. Thank you so much, guys, for all the engagement. I appreciate it. I'm trying to catch up to everybody. I'm sorry. What has been the best entry for you that works consistently? The one I just described. Once all the time frames align, and then on the 1 minute time frame we get that same alignment, that's my A+ setup. Look through all of my recaps here on TikTok. You'll see it's pretty much the same thing every single time. It's the same setup that repeats over and over and over and over again. You're welcome, Christian. I'm glad that works. Yeah, 3 years, Mark. How much do I make a month? I don't really like to disclose that often, but I have had people who have been questioning me if I'm good enough, if I'm someone worthy to listen to. In my Linktree, I have posted what I pulled in for August. So that's on there for you to view if you want to see. But I don't advocate or advertise it to say, listen to me because I make this much money. No, I could care less about how much money I make. What I care more about is me being able to read price. I want to be able to read price accurately. How much money you make is all relative. It's all relative. This ICT liquidity in MS. I don't know what MS is, but yes, I do trade ICT concepts. Crypto, is it possible to be profitable within a month with the right education and time? Anything's possible. Is it difficult? Yes. To learn the strategy, yes, it's possible within a month. To be profitable, oh no, not that quick. Not that quick. Who or where did you learn from? I learned from a lot of different people. I had paid mentors. I watched a lot of YouTube videos, and I sifted through a lot of nonsense too. So it's been a journey to get to where I am. CP, what's my win percentage? It's around 60% to 70%, depending on the day, on the week. But because my risk to reward is high, it works out. You take 1 trade a day on the same pair, risking 2% a trade, A+ setups only. Jalen, that's another way to go, man. That is another way to go. E, what's my bias for tomorrow? I think, look, based off of the end of day closure today, E, I'm looking for longs. That push above this high right here, if we retrace back into this 4-hour for value gap, I want to see longs. And then my next target, remember those relative equal highs, bro? Right up here. We'll see. We'll see. But for now, I am bullish. Ultra Lovelets. What tool makes the trade show up like that with the green and red? Oh, that is the long or short tool. So that's the long. And then here's the short. And where you can find that is right here on the left-hand side. I don't know if you can see it here on the chat. You probably can't. Let me try to fix that. Let me see. Thank you for the finger hearts. So here on the left-hand side, here where it says this is the it's the forecasting and measurement tools on TradingView. You open that up here on the projection, long position, short position. You just click on one, put it anywhere on the chart where you want to have the entry, where you want the stop, and then your take profit. And if you're logged into your broker, you can actually right-click it and then put create limit order, but I'm not logged in obviously. And then it'll show up an order entry screen, and then you can just take the order in right there. So let me delete those. And then let me revert this back. Okay. Real Marco, it took you 3 years. I know. Yeah, WB, I trade funded accounts. Juan, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you so much, guys. We're at 10K likes. Woo! You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, Patricia, we've all blown an account. That's certainly true. But the people who tell you that they don't blow accounts, they're lying to you, man. I do. I've blown accounts. I just blew a Top Step eval because I'm trying to open up other prop firm accounts, but I blew up a Top Step account. No shame in that. Had a pretty bad losing streak on it. It happens. Brian, thank you so much for the follow. Let's see. WB was my journey hard? Yes. Very hard, emotional, lots of tears, lots of happiness. But finding a good support group around you that'll help you. Panda's been with me from pretty close to the beginning. And he's a good dude. Armand, you caught the down and the up 2K on the day. Where's the round of applause one? Where's the round of applause? Here we go. Armand's up 2K on the day. That's amazing. No, I don't trade Forex, Marco. What does it mean to be profitable? Consistently profitable. There's a difference between being profitable and consistently profitable. Consistently profitable is, you're coming into the market, you have more wins than, or not more wins than losses, but you have a consistent strategy that will pay you out, and your equity curve will continue to grow. And now it's not going to be a straight line up. It's not going to be green every single day, but you'll have more green days than red days. Your risk management is on point, etc., etc. Sorry, you haven't taken a trade at all this week. Nice. What platform do I recommend for paper trading? Maybe one that's mobile. You can use TradingView. Okay, TradingView, you have free paper trading. If you have an account on TradingView, right here at the bottom. I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but right there, let me pull that up actually. I can pull it up. Right here, paper trading. You just click on it, it'll log you in. You can create an account with the size that you want and anything. If you want to do options trading for paper trading, you can do Webull. Webull has that too. Jay, how do I find my daily bias? It's a great question. I look at the higher time frame just to see how is the order flow on the higher time frame. Are we respecting bullish fair value gaps or respecting bearish fair value gaps? Then taking a look at the 15-minute time frame, trying to see the same thing. If the 4-hour and the 15-minute are both bullish, I am bullish on the day, targeting a draw on liquidity that is on the 15-minute time frame. Then I look for something called invalidation points. Areas that I say, okay, if price closes here or it comes to this area and doesn't have a strong reaction back out of it, that is where I will flip my bias. You can find how I do that on my YouTube. I talk about that all there. For real, even looking for those highs for 3 weeks. Thoughts on Amazon, Starbucks, and Crocs? Yeah, let's do some analysis on tickers. That is not Amazon. Amazon, 4-hour time frame, bullish. Look at this. Let's take a look at the weekly. Here, Amazon went from this low to this high, and it retraced down into discount. Here we found support, started to move on up. On the weekly time frame, this move on up invalidated this weekly fair value gap. Okay, that's also bullish. And then it found support within this weekly fair value gap. So this became an inverse. This was held, and now we're moving out of it. Next target on Amazon, I would say, is this 190.6. If we crush through that, the next target would be this high right here where I have as a draw on liquidity, $201.20. Okay, that's Amazon. You said Starbucks. Starbucks, same thing, bullish. Price come down, failed to close below this. Had a very strong move on up, found support within this weekly fair value gap that was created, also having this inverse fair value gap. We're coming to this high right here. Taking a look at the daily. Yeah, Starbucks is coming up to this high. The reaction at this high is very important. We do have this daily gap. Okay, that's also important to watch. But we had very strong sentiment on here. We also have relative equal highs at this level. If we displace through this and have a very strong daily close above, I definitely see us coming to this 107.68. Crocs. Crocs is not looking good. Okay, Yes, it came down to this low and it looks like it wants to grab liquidity. And if it did, I would have wanted to see us push on into creating a higher high. But we have this low, we have this high, came down here, lower high. Okay. We have a high, higher low, higher high, lower low, lower high. The next thing that we could potentially see here on Crocs is this. This would be the draw on here. I'm looking bearish on Crocs. I want to see if these daily fair value gaps are going to hold us down. If it comes up into this area and rejects off it, yeah, you could definitely expect us to come down here. Okay. Oh my goodness. I have never gotten this many comments before. I'm trying to catch up. You're welcome, Christian. I'm glad. I will definitely upload this to YouTube. All right. Let me try to roll back up here, see if there's any strong questions if someone has. Nightmares, you said, how do I get a funded account? I have a link in my link tree where you can sign up for a 50K Apex funding eval. If you pass that eval, so the profit target on it is $3,000 on a 50K account. If you hit that $3,000 profit, then you will get a funded account. Blue Max, yeah, paper trading is fake money. Practice with no risk. That's right. Yeah. Yes, exactly, Christian. Demo trade a prop firm before a prop firm. Yeah, you risk fake money before real money. Watch UCAD, prop retracement to the daily FEG. Oh, USD CAD. Sorry. Yeah, probably into this one right here, you're saying. Right there. Could see that coming on up into this, then dropping. All right. Armand makes me want to go live on TikTok too. Bro, do it. Go for it. Joseph, you want my YouTube? It's in, sorry guys, I was looking at a text message. If you want my YouTube, it's in the link in the bio. So yeah, on my YouTube, I post all of the trade breakdown, the whole, like every single detail, because I don't like to post long videos to TikTok. So that's found on my YouTube. And then you can find other helpful links on my link tree as well. That's the link in the bio. Hafkers, I'm using TradingView for my charting. That's what I use for all of my charting. And I take my trades off of this too. Yo, Panda and Christian, shout out to you guys, man. You guys are answering all those questions from people. I really do appreciate that. I really, really appreciate that, guys. Wint, I've seen you type that in. And then Palantir. I'll look at Wint and then Palantir. But yeah, Wint is dropping, bro. There's nothing bullish about this. Jeez, I would not even be looking at this. My broker is Tradovate. Palantir, bullish. Bullish, 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 bullish. Yeah. We going to all-time highs, baby. It looks like it wants to. We had this drop. Now look at the weekly time frame. Weekly, respecting bullish PD arrays. Respecting bullish fair value gaps. Continuing to move on up. Joseph, thank you so much for that follow. Oh, I love Tradovate, Mark. A good option for it? I don't know. You can buy one that's 30 days out. Sooner, like if after 15 days you're in profit, you can then, switch into another one that's 30 days out. That's totally up to you. Rue, what's good, bro? A PDRA. I know I said it really quick, but it is a PD array. Premium or discount array. Those can be a fair value gap, an order block, volume imbalance, things of that nature. Okay. Though, and I only focus on fair value gaps. fair value gaps, and inverse fair value gaps. Yo, we doing good, bro. We doing good, Rue. You take any trades today, bro? I took a very nice trade today pretty much in the late morning. Nightmare, I would say save up. Don't put those $30 to work. Save up, bro. Miguel, can you do an example of how you set up your analysis for a trade? Sure. FEG, IFEG for entries, the rest of the PD arrays to track order flow. Yeah, so I only use FEGs and IFEGs to even track order flow too. I don't use any of the other ones. You took a nice trade today. You were down 1K and had a 2K win today, so I'm up 1K on the combine. 2K more. Let's go, Rue, my boy. Love that. All right, so what do I do on a daily basis? I start off on the 4-hour time frame, looking to see what is the market structure. How does that look on the 4-hour time frame? If the 4-hour time frame looks like it's consolidating, I can't find any fair value gaps in this latest action right here, like today, I go to the 1-hour time frame. Alvin, thank you so much for the follow. I go to the 1-hour time frame and I look to see, okay, where are there some 1-hour fair value gaps that price is respecting so far? This one here was one that I had marked out. There was also this one right here that I had marked out. Now my draw on liquidity was this level right here, which is an old high on the 15-minute time frame. And I wanted us to tap into that because overall on the 1-hour time frame, let me actually put this back in bar replay mode so you can see what I was seeing. On the 1-hour time frame, price is creating higher lows, okay? Based off this market structure, we are bullish. So why do I mark out these 1-hour fair value gaps? I want to see price trade into them and form a bullish setup here to then continue moving on up. And I want to see price hit this level right here. So now that I've got that plan set up, I wait for the 1-minute time frame to align to that. So this morning, I was looking for a bullish setup of some sort. So let's move on over to the 9:30 open. Oops. Okay. I don't take my trades until Q3. And if I am bullish, I want this, exactly what happened here between Q1. Let me delete this. This Q1 right here, accumulation. And I wanted to see this drop down, okay? Because Q2 is the manipulation. If I want to have a distribution up, I want Q2 to come down into an area of interest. So a 1-hour time frame. Earl, thank you so much for that follow. A 1-hour fair value gap, a 15-minute fair value gap, something of that sort. And then finding support within there and then having it create a bearish or a bullish inverse fair value gap. So if you look at this right here. I have this fair value gap marked out. My thinking now at 10:45, which is where I'm going to take my entry, is if we get a 1-minute close above that high, I want us to target this draw on liquidity, and then my other targets this early in the morning would have been somewhere here to get a nice 1 to 2 risk to reward. Okay, I was waiting to see if we get a 1-minute close above here. Price had other plans, started to continue on dropping. Okay, and then at this point I had to go at 10 o'clock. I had to go. So I couldn't be at the chart anymore. So I walked away and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to keep checking back every 15 minutes or so. What's going on in the chat? Let's see. If you find a trader that's not selling a paid Discord, don't trust them. Only the legit traders have paid Discord. Those are the truly talented ones. It's concerning that mine is free. It should be paid. I don't have a Discord because I don't give signals. And I don't want to give signals. But whatever. If he thinks that, I mean, I can't change your mind on that. It's totally fine. If you want to pay someone, you can pay for an hour with me on my coaching calls. We can go over any trades you'd like. That's also in my link tree in bio. WB, yeah, I took a win today. We have a Discord to play Minecraft. Yo, Rue, let me get that, bro. I'm a Minecraft trader. I mean, I'm a Minecraft trader. I'm a Minecraft player. Dylan, thank you so much for the follow. The quarters, Kenny, those quarters are for time, like time zones where I will look to enter a trade. I'm not usually looking to enter a trade here in this manipulation cycle. Bloop Bloop, you will pay for an hour. Can we just talk about life, not trading? You don't have to pay me for an hour for that. We can just talk in DMs if you want. Shoot me a DM. We could talk about life all the time. I'm all for that, brother. If you need someone to talk to, I'm here. You got Rude too. Look at that. We all here, man. You don't have to do life on your own. Look at that. Rude's such a good guy. Oh, thank you, WB. Dylan, I'm not trading anything right now. You just joined in. How do you get the quarters on the chart? Real quick. Kenny, thank you so much for that follow. You go here. Quarterly cycles. Days Theory by Waffles Bitcoin. Send tacos. I'm not selling anything. But could you send tacos? I would love that. I love tacos. Thank you so much for the follow, Kay. All right, so we didn't get that bullish entry. So for the person who was asking, I know I got sidetracked. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with the chat too. We didn't get a bullish entry here. We didn't get that 1 minute close above. And like I said, price dropped. And I was like, you know what? I have no time right now to look at the charts. I'm going to be checking back every couple of minutes or so. Then I started to see price move on down towards this previous day low. This was a point of interest to me to see what is price going to do at this area. Are we going to strongly push through? Because if we strongly push through that previous day low here, then I'm going to look for price to retrace on up. And then I'll find a bearish entry around this area because I had no entry for being bullish here. I had nothing like that. And then I would switch my bias to going short. So on the 15-minute time frame, I started looking at this, right? Let's put the next one down. We hit that previous day low. Now, what does price do here? Oh, what is that? We get a body close back above into it. We wick down below. What does the next one do? That reaction right there, that's telling. It's telling me something. The first thing I note here is this bearish fair value gap. The next thing I note, this bearish fair value gap. This one right here, bearish fair value gap. Okay, we have 3 fair value gaps that are supposed to hold price down. I was waiting. I kept checking back every couple of minutes or so to see, hey, all right, how are we doing? Are we invalidating these? All right, this next candle closes within it. All right, no strong rejection off this one. And it tapped into this one. All right, let's see what this next 15-minute does. If this next 15-minute pushes strongly above it, I'm going to look for longs. If we get a strong rejection off of that, I'm going to look for shorts. At this point, I've already got an adjusted plan. Okay? Next candle, what happens? Strong push on up. It invalidated 1, 2, 3. This move on up invalidated 3 bearish fair value gaps after taking out the previous day low. Flipping back to the 4-hour time frame, that candle's green. It's starting to turn green. I mean, here it's the complete candle, but it was around this area right here. So now I'm starting to think, all right, this 4-hour candle is still respecting bullishness, okay? We're still respecting this inverse fair value gap. Yeah, it wicked down, but it's still respecting it. Candle wicks, what is it? They do the damage. Wicks do the damage, and the bodies will tell the story. So then at Nightmares, thank you so much for the follow. So at 11:45, which is when this candle closed, above here, I go, you know what? We're bullish. And my draw on liquidity is where we're gonna head to. We're definitely heading to that area. Drop down to the 1 minute time frame. So now the 4 hour, the 15 minute are both bullish to me. Now I'm waiting to see that the 1 minute also becomes bullish. So 11:45 is this candle right here. We start looking for a bullish setup. What does price start doing? Starts retracing. And what does it do here? It creates a bearish fair value gap. So now that the 4 hour, the 15 minute are still bullish, what should I expect to see happen on the 1 minute time frame? Anything that is bearish should get invalidated. If we are truly bullish, anything that shows up that is bearish, like this fair value gap, should get invalidated. If it does become invalidated on the 1 minute, Jerry, this is the 1 minute. If it does become invalidated, then I'm going to enter long. Because that now, the 15 minute, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, and the 1 minute are all bullish to me. All right. Boom. Candle close above. We enter, let's say we entered 3 contracts. Okay. Put our stop below this low. And then we target the draw on liquidity. Because now we're bullish. Price is going to head on over to an old high. Price is going to move over to an old high. And then we play out the rest of the day. 3 contracts long. Boom. That's $1,200 on the day. Right to that draw on liquidity. This was the trade that I took today. So I waited for price to align and it continued to play out that story that I was looking on the higher time frame. Exactly. It created that trend. It continued that trend. Although on the 4 hour, although on the 4 hour that candle was coming down here and this was all a red candle down, once it started to hit this low and it started to push right back up and it came back to the open of that candle, like think about it, every single candle will have a bottom wick and a top wick. The bottom wick will be the manipulation of that candle, and then it'll move to create the top. You want to start trying to get to that top. This candle went from being bearish, started to move back on up after it hit this low. Started to move back on up after hitting that low, and it starts to create a bottom wick. This is also bullish. It came back to the opening of that 4 hour candle, and it starts to move back on up. Everything about that screamed bullishness to me. And that's why I ended up taking that long. And that was the thinking behind it. 3 MNQ contracts paid you $1,200, risking about $300. So 1 to 2.72. And if you look at all of my TikTok recaps, I look for this same setup every time. I took the same setup yesterday too. Same exact thing. Go look at my YouTube. It's all there. You can look at it. I put it out there for you to learn, to go through it. I've had people reach out saying that they've had good results from learning off of that. And I'm glad. That's why I put it out there for you guys. Yeah, Rue, I hope you have a great day tomorrow. Yeah, crypto, I pay for it. I have the upgraded plan on TradingView, and that gives you the bar replay right here. So you can replay any day. Tomorrow we hit equal highs in bank. Maybe, I think so. I don't know about tomorrow, but this is definitely my next target. Or that already hit, never mind. Not that. This up here. Crispy, I use Tradevate for the broker of my personal account, and then the prop firm that I use is Apex Trader. You can find that link in my bio. You can sign up for an account there. I usually tell people to get the 50K if they want to start doing a prop firm. It's got the best risk to reward in terms of your stop loss, their total stop loss to profit target. The 25K is too tight, and then anything else above that, there's the ratio is not that good. 50K is that sweet spot. So on Tradevate, when you log into your Tradeovate, on the top right, there should be some like 3 lines, and then you click that, it's application settings. When you click on that, go to add-ons, and then on add-ons, you'll see TradingView, and you have to pay for it. It's like $10 a month. Yes, Christian is so right. Do demo before you risk real money. So true. Can I pin that? How do I pin a message? I'm so TikTok illiterate. Sorry, guys. Best demo app for Min, it's TradingView paper trading. That's in my opinion, the best one. What's the pro and cons of a prop firm? The pros are it's a low barrier to entry to trading. You get to trade a very big account with a small investment. The cons is that it'll make you wanna become a degenerate with trading, because you put such little income into it. Like you're like, oh, it's only $25 for this eval, I'm gonna full port it. But you have to treat it like a real account. So yeah, like Panda said, low entry price, big money profits for sure. All right, y'all, I just realized that I've been on here for 1 hour and 48 minutes. Sheesh, it is 12:20. I had such a great time talking to all of you guys. Thank you so much for that follow, Kenny. I appreciate that. No, I don't use volume profiles, Nightmares. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you guys for taking the time to sit here on my live. I really appreciate that, guys. Rob, thank you so much for the follow. You guys could have been anywhere else tonight, but you all chose to be here. I hope that what we talked through tonight was helpful. Albiri, thank you so much for the follow. May, thank you so much for the follow. It was helpful, and I like to think that there's no coincidence why you guys are here at the very end of this live. And it's to tell you guys that you are loved, okay? Don't feel like you're ever alone in life. God loves you so much. And if you don't know him, I highly recommend you should seek him. Follow him. But I hope we all have a great day tomorrow, okay, guys? SPY thoughts. I think we might be bullish tomorrow for SPY, real quick. Thank you so much for the chili, CJ. Yes, God loves you so much. He gave his only begotten son to die for the sins of the world. Amen. So if any questions, guys, my DMs are open. My YouTube has my breakdowns. If you guys are interested in a one-on-one, if you need that one-on-one personal touch with help and anything trading related, you can go ahead and book that on my Linktree. Not saying you have to do that, because a lot of my stuff is also for free on YouTube. First Christian I've seen in trading so far. There's a couple of us out there. Rue's another one. There's another one. But, oh man, I know 19 more people to hit 2K. I don't know if we'll be able to do it tonight, Panda. I appreciate that. Amen to that, bro. Thanks for sharing your God's gift to help us. I'm so happy that you guys are here and finding helpfulness in my lives. Yeah, Roman Catholic, you're Christian, bro. You're Christian. All right, y'all. I love all of you guys. I hope you have a great day tomorrow. I hope I'm not too tired tomorrow for market open. In my table, we all eat. Amen, bro. You're a Christian named Christian. Whew. Christception. All right, everybody. I love you all. Have a great night, and let's kill it tomorrow. I'll see you guys all tomorrow night. Or actually, no, I don't have time tomorrow. I might not have time tomorrow because I have a one-on-one with someone tomorrow. So stay blessed. Let's have a great green day tomorrow, and I hope we all end up green. All right. Love you all. Peace.